Hello everyone, welcome to Malim Chess Kids. Today we'll show you the game played by Viktoriya and Jana, and the game complete in only 16 moves. And here you have a very beautiful ending with the double bishop attack. So let's see how the game play. And the game start with the pawn to e4, e5, then knight f3 and knight c6, then bishop to b5, and here you have the Ruy Lopez opening. And the game to continue, the black play knight to f6 attacking the center pawn, and here the white play a castling and sacrifice the pawn. So after this, bishop to c5 was played, then c3 was played, and now the black castling, and after this we have the equal position, and this is the first 5 move. Then the game to continue, the white continue to play a d4, a very strong pawn structure and attack. And after this, the bishop to b6, then the pawn d takes e5 and attacking the knight. And now the knight capture the e4 pawn, the knight takes e4, then queen to d5 attacking the knight, and also you can bring the bishop to the g5 and attack the queen, and the pawn is unable to push up because the queen is pinning the king. And now the knight cannot go back to f6 because the pawn is attacking the square. So knight c5 was played, bishop to g5 attacking the queen, then queen to e8, and this is only the move. After this, rook to e1 and bring up the pawn and can push the pawn onwards. So after this, the knight to e6 to block and prevent the pawn to push forward. So after this, the knight, the bishop to d3, and you have attacked the diagonal of the pawn at h7. So bishop to d3, then the knight to c5 again, and here the white is better in the position. After this, the bishop to c2, and this to prevent the knight capture and trade off the bishop, and the bishop still again maintain the direct attack of the h7 pawn. And after this, the black play a5. So in this position, another suggestion is that the black can play a queen to e6 and exchange of the white queen. So if the queen to d2, then the black can continue to play a d5 and to play a counter attack and control the center. And if the pawn capture, then you can just use the queen and take the pawn and go for the action. And here we can go for the end game. So a5 was played, and now the queen to c4, and here you have a very strong idea as the queen is still pinning, and the queen can go to h4 and attack the h7 and checkmate. and the bishop also can go for a sacrifice the bishop at f6 and attack the pawn. So after this, h6 was played, and this will be the bad move, and after this the white is clearly winning. So after queen c4, you can try to play like the knight to e6. Then if the bishop can go for a sacrifice, and now this pawn cannot capture. If you capture, it will be the winning. For example, if you capture the bishop, then the queen will go to e4 and preparing for checkmate. So queen to e4, and there's something you can prevent the pawn. So if you push the pawn, the queen will just capture. And if you knight to g5, then you can just use a knight to capture again. And now any move like a check, then just use a king to capture, and if the knight to capture the pawn, and you just have the queen takes the h7 and checkmate. So after bishop d6 sacrifice, this bishop cannot be captured, and if you play a d6, now you have the bishop takes h7 and check the king. So this is a very strong attack with the two double bishop diagonal attack. So if you use the bishop and take, and now if the king capture again, and you can have the rook and the knight to g5 and check the king, and knight to g5 and check the king, and the king to g8, and you bring your queen to h4 and preparing to checkmate the king. So after knight capture, or you can use the bishop check first, and king capture the bishop, and after this the knight capture the knight, then the queen will capture and preparing for a checkmate. And you push the pawn, then the queen will just go to h6, and this checkmate will be unavoidable. And any move from the black, such as the pawn takes, then you have queen to g7 and checkmate, or you can have queen to h8 and checkmate. So this is a very interesting double bishop attack. So after queen to c4, you have many ideas to checkmate the king, and in the actual game the black play a h6. After h6, this is a tactical blunder, because the white can just capture the pawn and sacrifice as well. So in the actual game, the white capture the pawn and sacrifice, and trying to destroy the pawn structure that protect the king. So after capture, and after the capture, if they use in the actual game, the black capture again, and after this is a winning. This is another alternative, that after the attack, the simple way will be the queen to h4, and now the pawn cannot capture. If you capture the bishop, then the queen will just go to h7 and checkmate, and protected by the bishop, and this checkmate will be easy. And if you do not capture, for example, if you use the queen to protect the pawn, then another brilliant sacrifice that I will show you is that you can use the bishop to block the attack. And now you can continue to play example like if you capture the bishop, then the pawn will capture, and here the queen will capture the pawn and checkmate the king. So we have many activity to attack, and you can see that the white is winning and checkmate in 16 moves. So if you want to continue this example, like such as move the knight to e4 to block the attack, then the rook you just capture. And now if you use the knight to e5, and here you use the knight to capture again, and a lot of winning. So bishop check, you just use the king to capture again, or you use the queen to capture. After queen capture, then you just capture again. So there's nothing can block the checkmate, and anything move like d6 to attack the knight, you can just play knight takes f7 and preparing to have the knight capture the pawn and check the king. So bishop to f5 to block, and you can just go to rook g4 and check the king, and bishop capture, then you can have the knight takes h6 and checkmate. That's all. It's a very beautiful checkmate idea. So in the actual game, bishop takes h6 was played, and now queen e6, you just prevent the checkmate. But in the actual game, the black capture the bishop, and after this, this is a tactical blunder, and the white mate in 5. I give a couple of seconds to figure out how the white can play and mate in 5. Well, congratulations for those who found the answer, and for those who like to enjoy the show, here are the beautiful moves. In the actual game, after the pawn capture, the white played a queen to g4 and check the king. And now there's nothing that can block the king from the check. So king need to move only one place to h8. After this, the queen move to f5 and preparing to go for h7 checkmate. So queen f5 was played, and now you can just delay the checkmate by playing a knight to d3. And after this, basically the white will resign the game. If the game to continue, the bishop can just capture the knight, and now the delay move such as bishop takes f2 check and the king to capture, and now the queen just capture, and you just have a queen to h7 checkmate. And with this, thank you.